The recent attempt on former President Donald Trump's life during a rally brings back chilling memories of other moments in American history when sitting or former presidents were targeted by gunmen. Trump survived this assassination attempt, but the event reminds us of the dangers and challenges faced by American leaders throughout history. Let's take a closer look at this incident and then delve into the history of U.S. presidents who have been targeted by gunmen. The Trump rally was supposed to be a routine event. Supporters gathered to hear the former president speak, with many excited about his appearance. As he began his speech, chaos erupted when a gunman in the crowd fired shots at the stage. The security team quickly intervened, and Trump was rushed off the stage to safety. The gunman was apprehended, and fortunately, Trump was unharmed. This attempt on his life has raised concerns about security at political events and the safety of public figures. Looking back at American history, this isn't the first time a president or former president has been targeted. The history of U.S. presidents being targeted by gunmen is both tragic and fascinating. It reveals the vulnerabilities of even the most powerful people in the world and highlights the ever-present risk of political violence. One of the most famous assassination attempts was on President Abraham Lincoln. On April 14, 1865, just days after the end of the Civil War, Lincoln was attending a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. John Wilkes Booth, a well-known actor and Confederate sympathizer, entered Lincoln's box and shot him in the head. Lincoln died the next morning. Booth's actions were part of a larger conspiracy to revive the Confederate cause by eliminating the top 3 officials in the U.S. government. While Booth succeeded in killing Lincoln, the other conspirators failed in their attempts to kill Vice President Andrew Johnson and Secretary of State William Seward. Lincoln's assassination profoundly impacted the nation, plunging it into deeper mourning and complicating the post-war Reconstruction efforts. Fast forward to July 2, 1881, President James A. Garfield was at a Washington, D.C. train station when Charles J. Guiteau shot him. Garfield had been in office for only 4 months. Guiteau, who was upset about not being appointed to a federal position, believed that killing Garfield would benefit the country. Garfield survived the initial shooting, but succumbed to his injuries after months of suffering and inadequate medical care on September 19, 1881. His death highlighted the need for civil service reform, leading to the Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act, which aimed to curb the corruption and patronage in government appointments. The next significant assassination occurred on September 6, 1901, when President William McKinley was attending the Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, New York. Leon Czolgosz, an anarchist who believed that McKinley represented oppression, shot the president twice in the abdomen. McKinley initially appeared to recover, but gangrene set in around his wounds, and he died on September 14, 1901. McKinley's assassination ushered in Theodore Roosevelt's presidency, who became known for his progressive reforms and robust foreign policy. In more recent history, on November 22, 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. While riding in an open car through Dealey Plaza, he was shot by Lee Harvey Oswald. Kennedy's assassination shocked the world and led to numerous conspiracy theories about who was behind the killing. Oswald was arrested, but was killed by nightclub owner Jack Ruby before he could stand trial. The Warren Commission, established to investigate the assassination, concluded that Oswald acted alone. However, debates about the assassination continue to this day, with various theories suggesting the involvement of different organizations or individuals. Another near-fatal attempt happened to President Ronald Reagan on March 30, 1981. John Hinckley Jr. shot Reagan as he was leaving the Washington Hilton Hotel. Reagan was hit by a bullet that ricocheted off the presidential limousine and struck him in the chest. Hinckley's motive was his obsession with actress Jodie Foster and his belief that killing the president would impress her. Reagan's swift recovery and humor about the incident boosted his popularity. The attempt also led to significant changes in the Secret Service's procedures to protect the president. These are some of the most well-known assassination attempts on sitting U.S. presidents, but former presidents have also faced threats. For instance, Theodore Roosevelt, who had already left office, was shot on October 14, 1912, while campaigning for the presidency as a third-party candidate. The would-be assassin, John Schrank, shot Roosevelt in the chest, but the bullet was slowed by a thick speech manuscript and an eyeglass case in his jacket pocket. Roosevelt, a staunch advocate for toughness, insisted on giving his 90-minute speech before seeking medical attention. There have also been numerous foiled plots and unsuccessful attempts. For example, in 1994, Francisco Martin Duran fired shots at the White House from a fence along Pennsylvania Avenue, believing he was targeting President Bill Clinton. Fortunately, Clinton was inside and unharmed. The risk to presidents and former presidents is not only from gunmen, but also from more elaborate plots. In 1835, President Andrew Jackson was the target of the first recorded attempt on a sitting president's life. Richard Lawrence, an unemployed house painter, approached Jackson as he left a funeral and attempted to shoot him. Both of Lawrence's pistols misfired, and Jackson, known for his fiery temper, attacked Lawrence with his cane. Lawrence was found not guilty by reason of insanity and spent the rest of his life in mental institutions. In the modern era, security measures have become more sophisticated. The Secret Service, established in 1865 initially to combat counterfeit currency, took on the role of protecting the president after the assassination of William McKinley. Over the years, their responsibilities have expanded, and they now use advanced technology and extensive planning to protect the president, vice president, and their families. Despite these precautions, the potential for violence remains a constant threat. The assassination attempts discussed have had profound impacts on the nation's politics, security measures, and public consciousness. They remind us of the vulnerability of our leaders and the importance of safeguarding democratic institutions. Political violence and the targeting of leaders are not unique to the United States. Globally, many leaders have faced similar threats. However, the high-profile nature of U.S. presidents makes these events particularly significant in world history. The assassinations and attempts on their lives have shaped public policy, influenced international relations, and left indelible marks on American society. Reflecting on the recent attempt on Donald Trump's life, it is clear that the motivations behind such acts can be complex and varied. They can stem from political beliefs, personal grievances, or mental instability. Understanding the root causes of such violence is crucial for preventing future incidents and protecting those who serve in public office. The Trump incident also highlights the importance of political rhetoric and its potential to incite violence. In recent years, the political climate in the United States has become increasingly polarized, with heated rhetoric on both sides. This environment can create a breeding ground for individuals to take extreme actions. It is incumbent upon leaders and the media to promote a more civil and respectful discourse to reduce the risk of violence. The recent attempt on former President Donald Trump's life serves as a stark reminder of the ongoing risks faced by U.S. presidents and former presidents. From Abraham Lincoln to Ronald Reagan, the history of assassination attempts reveals the vulnerabilities of even the most protected individuals. These events have shaped American history and continue to influence the nation's security measures and political landscape. As we reflect on these past incidents, it is essential to remember the importance of protecting democratic institutions and promoting a more civil and respectful political environment.